Hello. So I think this is a good time to summarize my PoE2 experiences so far. I have gathered a few of my thoughts, but you gotta know that I was taking my time, so my experiences are not in line with the people who are on the bleeding edge, not even remotely. But I was able to get a key, and then I didn't think that I would play. I thought that I would just let people who play in the early access gather data, help GGG figure out things, and then whenever it actually comes out at launch, then I'm gonna play the vision, fully realized game. But like I said, I ended up getting a key, so I thought, well, I guess I'm playing. I ended up starting with a Sork, as you can see at the bottom. That was my starting one. As you can also see it from the name that I try to quickly take the name. Not like anyone would take it, but I ended up not really feeling the progression with it. And then obviously later, with the benefit of hindsight, we know that now that Stormweaver, Archmage, or Archmage, however you want to pronounce it, was and still is, as of now, as of today, a very, very strong build. So I would have been in a very good position, but like I said, I was already taking my time anyway. So and it what matters the most is that I like and enjoy what I'm playing. So it doesn't matter how strong it is. I have no regrets. Is the point that I'm trying to make. So as you can see, it's still level 23. And when I was not feeling that, I made a monk because I was looking at the cast on freeze, cast on crit, comet shenanigans, and I wanted to take part in that. But I knew that the hammer was above our heads anyway. So as expected, I leveled as a melee monk to 33, and then they killed basically all the cast on X kind of builds for the most part. So and it happened right after I respec from the melee into spell, so I can go towards the Keston stuff comet, and then I had no gold, so I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna shelve this for a while then, and then as a third character, I made the one that I expected I would do anyway, or even the one that I kind of expected to make as a first character, a summoner, a witch. And then as you can see, I ended up going through the campaign and getting to maps and stopped at 69. Nice. And I still have a scepter in my inventory that is 72. I was looking forward to equipping that. But I went into a map and I ended up dying, and then I thought, okay, I need some better gear, or I want some better gear, and I looked at trade. I realized that I would have to trade, and I didn't want to trade, so I logged off. But then I saw the pulse circle clear, and I'll open up this character. I saw how good the clear was with the unique ring, which is somewhere here in my stash. But I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, this one. So I jumped on it. I basically spent all my money. It's like 30, 35 exalt. So I ended up spending all that. And it was a blast with that one. Like going through the campaign was very enjoyable with the Herald explosions. And what also helped is that I already had some resources, so I didn't have to sit there with no weapon. But I did. I was level 33 from the previous leveling for the Comet. So I ended up buying this for cheap, which was like a decent unique at that point. And that got me to the point where I could buy this. That also carried me, and then I bought this. And now is the point where I'm feeling like, okay, this is getting kind of inadequate at this point. Also, I was critical damage on the tree, right? Like, you know, all the crit nodes, like here, 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 not here, here, that kind of thing. I was critical damage, and it felt nice actually. But then I saw some resources and some videos and whatnot say something that I kind of agree with, right? Is that it's not rocket science, right? Like you have a low crit weapon. You don't really have any extra like crit damage bonus anywhere else. Like I had this, and I had okay, that 25% crit damage bonus, but it's only 10% crit. So I thought, okay, let's go into the non-crit version. But the thing is, it's not like I got really tankier or anything. And this tree is basically, I guess, copied from someone who is also doing the Hova, Hand of Wisdom and Action glove. Not because it's stat stacking, just because like you have like what? The one is like what? 200 dex, 150 int, and then that would give me even a bit more, just the item. So that's extra damage that is supposedly good. It gives a lot of damage. But and yeah, this is the scepter that I would have been equipping on my Infernalist if I ever got there. But honestly, it's fine. Like the mapping experience at the moment where I'm at, as you can see, I'm at the 9+ maps at the Doriani quest line. And I don't know, I don't find it all that exciting at the moment. Right? You do a map, you go to the next one, you go to the next one, you go to the next one. So I was not super enthused about it. I had to go to trade to get these items, obviously. Like this is the only one that I am not that I have not sourced from trade. It's not it's not a great item by any means, but like this is the one that I found this. This is mine. So I have not replaced this yet. But yeah, but at this point I feel like the gloves would be the best upgrade, like the one that would give me the most damage. Because yeah, I'm at the point right now, right, when it's like it's either not a reasonable upgrade or a significant enough upgrade to even bother with it, or it's too expensive to even think about it. And that's where I'm at. But I will get into the trade pains a bit later. But anyway, the gloves, I wanted to get it. I had 3 divines. As you see, I don't have any 3 divines anymore. I got to get 3 divines, but then, as you know, on trade, like it's up for 3 divines, but then you try to buy it, and it's not actually up for 3 divines, and then everyone reprices it to 4, and then I don't even know if I whisper the people who are at 4, would they reprice it to 5? Because then, yeah, I can't get over this. Like I'm just gonna talk about it now. The trade experience. Everyone says it. I know you've heard it a million times, but I'm also gonna say it. I do not like it. I hate how the etiquette has changed into what we have. I know that on some level we have, you know, some YouTubers that obviously you probably also already know that they spread these etiquette norms that you were like, oh, you're just gonna put up the item and then you price it whatever, and then if people are trying to buy it, you just raise the price until nobody buys it anymore. Because apparently that's the price of the item. That like you're not trying to sell, you're just trying to not get even remotely shortchanged. And you would rather have it rot in your stash. So yeah, that's the experience. It's not just selling. It's not just buying. I don't want to sell either because yeah, I don't want to be on the other side either. Like I don't want to get whispers. At the core of it's probably a mix of the trade experience being not that great and my own uh yeah my own distaste for, I guess, just trading and the hassle in general. So what this turns into is that all I can really look at as a gain or loot or currency are the pure drops that I can either like just get like the Exalt and Divine straight up, or the ones that I can exchange on a currency exchange. Because the drops, like I pick them up from the ground and then I ID them and it's either bad, which is most of the time, and then I just vendor it for shards or salvage, or if it's good and then I put them into my stash and it never sees the light of day. Like for example, like this one, it didn't have the movement speed. I'm like, oh, this has dry res as a evasion energy shield, and even like a flat mana is not that bad. I put an exile on it. Oh, it's 20 movement speed. Is that a decent item? Yeah, I think so. Am I gonna sell it? No, because it's either gonna be people trying to lowball it super hard, like, oh, this is not worth that much. You should sell it me for me or one exalt, or or people will just not even try to buy it. That's the other side of the coin. Because as everyone knows, if I put them up for, I don't know what, 10x or something, or 5x, is I'm just saying a number as an example. Like I'm not saying that that's necessarily the exact price of it. If I put them up for that, people will reasonably assume that I'm not, if it's a good price, that I'm not actually gonna sell it. So like everyone gets fucked over. Even the people who do not subscribe to this idea that you should keep raising the price. So anyway, trade, not a great experience. But that's one thing. That's not the entire game. So let's talk about my experience with the game itself a little bit. But I guess most of my pay points are really the trade. Because aside from that, I took my time in campaign, but it's a bit exhausting for me at times that you like anytime you have a monster on your screen, even if it's like just a normal mob that like has no mods or anything, you have to keep moving, you have to worry. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing necessarily, but I am saying that it can be a bit exhausting, that you have to be full focus all the time, or you get killed, or you get rolled. But I mean, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I mean the campaign, but yeah, this part I don't really have any strong opinions on it, honestly. It feels a bit like I'm in quicksand sometimes, but that can be that can be partially because of all the previous experience with PoE 1, right? So even if I treat it as a new game, it will not be entirely, like I can't be entirely objective about it, or I will not be able to delete all those experiences from my head. even if I try not to focus on them. Yeah, about this part, many people have many things to say already, and I don't feel like I have anything to add to that part. Go into the campaign. I run a few areas, I log off, come back a bit later, run a few more areas, log off, and that's basically my gameplay loop. Yeah, I don't really have any strong opinions overall on the game itself aside from trade. All I want is that, or rather, all I hope for is that they find a baseline in the game relatively soon. By that I mean that they find, like, let's say for example, okay, let's say that Summoner Infernalist is like, okay, this is the power level, for example, that we would like to take as a baseline, and then I guess try to balance the rest of the game accordingly, or like the rest of the builds and classes. I just said it as an example. What I'm trying to get at is that I would like for them to get to a point relatively soon where it's not, and I think I am overblowing this because it's not like we've had all that many patches yet, or all that much time for things to shake out. So it's not necessarily a hope of this. It's more like a fear of them, like them being GGG coming in and basically looking at all the builds and seeing, oh, this is over. Because like there's a part, and it's hard to separate the two. That what is just okay, this just has too much damage. But the other side of it is that this feels good. Like for example, I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, Herald is gonna get slapped, the Herald stuff. But it's like the Heralds, they do what they are supposed to do. Like that's I think that's why they are in the game. So for me personally, the Herald explosions are what gives me the hit, basically, the dopamine hit. Like when I go into a map, and I'm not strong or anything, right? So it's not, don't expect too much. That's fine. Like for example, I go into a map. I'm trying to look for breaches, but it's not really. Augury. Everyone hates Augury. Or at least I've seen that there is too many. Too many. Okay. I'm looking for a breach one, but there's no breach one. Okay. I'm just trying to make a point here. Like that, boom. And the shatters. Like that's, if I log into a game and if I roll it up, or like I roll up to do a map, that's what I am here for. That's what I want to see and hear. Is like the Herald clearing the pack. And as you can see, it's not my clear with them is not even that great. Well, because like my damage is low, the levels are low on the spirit gems. It doesn't have quality. So like if I have higher levels and if I have higher quality, like even any quality at all, it would probably clear a lot better. But even then, like these, So, and with this, my fear is that they hit all the builds as we go on. It might. I'm afraid of it becoming a whack-a-mole kind of situation. They come in like, oh, this is something that people play, and this is something, but this is too strong for our vision, and then that loses some people, and then it happens again in the next cycle. But I mean, that was an easily foreseeable conundrum after that hit to the Keston category of builds. Is that from there on, the expectation is that if you have something that is strong and you enjoy playing, it's gonna get killed. And I guess it's on GGG to figure out if that's what they're going for. All what I've said so far is not necessarily warranting a video. Like I'm not saying anything new that you haven't heard already from someone else somewhere else, or probably something that you might even feel and think yourself. But one thing that might be worth mentioning. I'm sorry, I just get sucked into the explosions. It's fun. And I've lost my train of thought, great. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm not big damage or anything. And it's definitely not on the level of like the big boy monks or the stat stacking kind of wisdom in action, Pillar of the Cage God, Astra Mantis even stat stacking shenanigans. Like obviously that is I would categorize that obviously as being really strong. But I mean that is supposed to be strong, I think. It's like stat stacking is one of the most or like one of the more straightforward ways of scaling damage, I think, at least at the moment. But I'm sure that people will find new ways to break the game, quote unquote. But yeah, I'm not. Oh, like see, like this when stuff like this hits. That feels good. And I hope that they are not gonna kill all the fun builds, basically. Okay, yeah, okay, this should be edited down, but I will not today. But yeah, I remember what I was trying to say. Is that there is a there's an idea, right? That there is this old school ARPG player who wants a slower, more methodical game that is not just zoom, kill all the stuff, chase the dopamine, chase the hit, and let me say, I'm not saying at all that those type of players do not exist. I'm sure they do. But what I'm trying to get at here is that in some ways, even though I don't have the past or the memories with D2 like at all. I have, like, I think I'm old enough for me to be potentially in that category. I mean, I'm not that deep in. So like I technically I could have been playing D2 back in the day. Yeah, I think I'm old enough. But as it turns out, there is a fine line between the game being slow and methodical, like a different sort of ARPG, and you feeling like the game is wasting your time. And what I have realized is that even though I thought that I would enjoy an ARPG a lot, where you're taking your time a bit more. The line for me is very very fine. It's a very fine line, because as even if you are not a zoomer, or you don't consider yourself a zoomer, so to speak, in games, the older I get, the less I wanna waste my time, like quote unquote waste my time on things or mechanics or clicks in the game where I'm not feeling good. So in a way, even though the preconceived notion would be is that young people want the zoom and older people want the chill gameplay, I actually like the zoom. I actually want the zoom. Because even this, I come out, okay, so I get out of the map, I identify my items, I what to do. Okay, I should stop doing this, by the way. But I think that theory it would be like this. You come out and like, oh, you have the socket or qualities, you do that, you come here,
Yes,
you do that,
time is glad to see you.
maybe even click the bell. You don't really need to most of the time, so put these in and then take out the next one. And if in the map I don't enjoy myself most of the time, then I will not value it. I will not value the experience, even though the game might be slower. So I thought that I would like the slow, but I do not like the slow. And I'm not saying that it is slow right now. What I am saying is that I am a bit afraid that it might be slow in a way that I will not enjoy it. But, and now we circle back into the baseline, is that even if the game ends up being in a way that I end up not enjoying it, I think as long as if that's their vision, and if they are able to hit that, and like, oh, this game is for the people who enjoy this type of gameplay, and I am not in that audience or target audience, that's fine. I can make my peace with that. But I do not know how people will receive if every time they make a new build, every time they find something that they enjoy playing, it gets nerfed or even obliterated. But again, it's just, it's not something that has necessarily a strong basis in reality. Because if it was like 10 months and then GGG killed all the builds that were strong and fun every time, then it would be very reasonable to say. But it's enough to do it one time. I think it's enough. In many ways, it's enough to do it one time, and then people will keep expecting it and keep fearing it. And for me, I am a little bit disconnected from the game because of that. And I'm not going hard. Like, obviously I'm not going hard, as you can see. But I do not enjoy the trading. So all my resources are from raw drops, which are not enough for me to buy strong gear or stronger gear. I'm not saying that I'm great at the game or anything, because I'm not, but that's just my experience. So that is where I'm at right now. Yeah. And by the way, yeah, I went for the gloves. I've bought a Breachstone and I died. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I ended up rambling a lot longer than I needed to or expected to. But as of now, Torchlight Infinite is coming up in like a few hours. This is like 12 hours or something. So I think that is what I am gonna do for the I guess I can say at least for the next 2 months. Yeah, it's 12 hours, 1 minute and 49, 48, 47 seconds is when it starts. So I'm gonna go there and I think I'm gonna be blasting there hopefully. Because that is my dopamine hit game, I think. And then here patch is coming out soon-ish, right? In like a few days. And then we'll see. Because I think that will be a very important patch in many ways. Because of what I just said. Is that if they do it again, or like okay, no matter what happens, there will be people who will be disappointed or discouraged or dissatisfied with the patch. I think that's just a fact of life. Like you can't do something that will universally satisfy everyone. But if someone got hit previously by the big bonk and then they get their builds killed again, even though it is early access, it might I guess filter some people off. And there are those who would say, okay, that's good, let's filter out the casuals, let's filter out the noobs. But from the other perspective, if you're a player and you're enjoying the game and then your build gets killed and then your build gets killed again, even if it's reasonable and even if you understand the underlying principles behind it and you understand that it's early access, it still might lead you to just, check out of the game. And then you might come back for launch, might not. I'm not really talking about myself because I've been playing PoE since 2015, which is quite some time ago already, even though I still feel like a noob, and I am a noob. So I'm not talking about myself. Like I will be here. I'm pretty sure like it doesn't matter how many builds they kill or what they do. I'll be here at launch of PoE 2. I'm pretty sure no matter what. If I'm able to. But I worry about the people who enjoy the game and then they get hit too many times, one too many times by the balancing, and then they check out. I think that would be a shame. So it will be an important patch to see how they handle the outliers, or if they can even do something that would keep those people who might otherwise check out. But at the end, it's early access, so as long as the game at launch will be fine, then it will be fine. Yeah. So, possible restart at SSF, by the way, because I don't like that my upgrades are basically grinding out currency and then trying to buy it in a trade experience that is just not fun. Not fun for me. So I might, even if I have a slower upgrade path, right? Obviously, it's a lot slower to find items than getting them on trade. Like I would not have these levels of items if I was on SSF. But this build specifically is that if I'm able to make a decent-ish weapon, that I would be at the same place. So like these gears, if I looked for them, like they would not be like this level, but I could find stuff that works decently well. Also, the people who played a lot, even if they are SSF, they can have crazy gear, but they did have to pick up a lot of stuff, staves, and then do the whole transmute, augment, regal, exalt, exalt, and then hope for something good. Like that, and that's basically it. There's some omen shenanigans, but or I guess you can use the senses a little bit, and there are some good ones, like the greater one, the greater essence of haste. I found one and that was like 200 something exalts, which is why I have this in the first place at all. So yeah, now I'm off to play Torchlight Infinite and then probably come back at some point, restarting in SSF. But yeah, game's fine. I'm just not super excited about playing it right now. And I don't know what will happen in the future to change that. Maybe one of the classes that come in, maybe one of them will speak to me on a level that I might really enjoy playing that. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I'm enjoying this as well, but we'll see if it stays alive after the patch. All right, I've yapped enough. Have a good one. Okay, bye bye.